20 to midnight, 1971. A folded $20 bill slides under a sugar shaker toward a boy who never asked for it.
Two men are working that counter. Walter is on the grill. Dale is on the register.
It is a bus depot in a small Ohio town, in the last hour before the last bus. Both of those men have a $20 bill on them tonight. Only one of those 20s leaves the building. And 50 years later, only one of these two men is still thinking about that night. It is not the one who gave it away. This story gets told in a lot of towns with a lot of different names on it. I will tell it the way it came to me, with the names it came with. The boy on the bench is 16. His name is Ray. He has been sitting there since 6 in the evening. He is $19 short of a ticket to his aunt's place in Erie because home has stopped being somewhere he can stay. He is not asking anybody for anything. He is sitting very straight, the way you sit when you're trying not to look like you need help. Dale sees him first. Dale sees everyone first. That is what the register is for. Dale has 3 children at home and rent due on Friday. The arithmetic in his head is not cruel. It is just arithmetic. He decides quietly and reasonably that it is not his to solve.
I want to be fair to Dale here. Most of us are Dale. Most nights, most of us are right to be. Walter is not better off. He is 43 and he cooks on a grill for a living. $20 in 1971 was 12 and a half hours of work at the federal minimum wage. About $160 in today's money. It was not a gesture. It was most of a week of groceries. There was a cup at the end of that counter. Cream-colored, heavy, chipped on one side of the rim. Walter poured it for anyone waiting on a bus with nothing in their pocket. No one owned cement. He set it down and walked away. Ray had been holding that cup for 2 hours by then, long after it went cold. At 20 to midnight, Walter came around the end of the counter, folded a bill in half twice, and pushed it under the sugar shaker. He said, "Take it. The bus is at 10-2." Ray asked him his name.
What Walter said next is the reason it took 50 years to find it. Dale watched all of it from the register, with his own 26 inches from his own heart. He said nothing. There was nothing to say. Walter had not made a speech about it, and did not seem to want company in it. Dale went home at 1. He slept fine that night. That is the part he told me twice. Here is what Walter said when the boy asked his name. He said, "It doesn't matter." And then he went back to scraping the grill because it was 20 to midnight and the grill needed scraping. So the boy got on a bus with a face and no name. You cannot look up a face.
Ray got to Erie. He got a job at a tire shop, then a better one.
He got old the ordinary way, which is a good way. And every few years, for 50 years, he tried to find the man at the grill. Dale, meanwhile, kept his 20. He paid the rent with it on Friday, exactly as planned. It worked. And then a strange thing started, so slowly that he did not notice it starting. He would be doing something ordinary, sweeping a step, waiting at a light, and he would see a boy sitting very straight on a bench. Not guilt exactly. He had not done anything. That is what made it so hard to put down. You cannot apologize for a thing you did not do. There is nowhere to take it. You have one of these. Not this one. Yours. The small thing you could have done and did not. And the not doing is the part that stayed. In 2021, Ray came back. The depot had been a laundromat since the 80s. He stood in the doorway of it for a long while. He told the woman at the counter he was looking for someone who worked there in 1971 and heard how it sounded as he said it. But small towns keep their own records. In kitchens. Someone remembered someone. 2 days later, he was standing on a porch 2 streets over. Ray thought it was him. 50 years is a long time to hold a face, and he wanted it to be him. And Dale, 84, hands like paper, had to say the hardest sentence of his life on his own front step. He said, "It wasn't me. I was the other one." And then he said the thing he had been carrying for 50 years without ever knowing it was for somebody. He said,
His name was Walter. He told him the surname too, where he was from, how he took his coffee, the joke he made about that grill every single night. He told him Walter had been gone 11 years now, and where he could go and sit for a while if he wanted to. For 50 years, Dale had been the only person alive who remembered that night. It turned out he had not been carrying a fault. He had been keeping a record.
And there is one more thing, and it is the whole reason I want to tell you this. Years earlier, long before any of this, Dale had asked Walter about that night. Not directly, sideways, the way men of that generation asked things. He said, "Do you remember that kid at the counter? The one you gave the 22? Walter thought about it for a moment, and Walter said, "Which kid?"
He had done it more than once. He honestly did not remember.
The man who gave it away had forgotten it by Friday. The man who kept it carried it for 50 years. That is the cost, and it is not the one we are afraid of. We think the price of a kindness is the $20. It is almost never the $20. The 20 comes back, or it does not, and either way you stop noticing inside a week. The thing that stays, the thing with 50 years of interest on it, is the one you talk yourself out of.
So here's the only useful thing I know about this. Do it before you finish deciding. Whatever is sitting there tonight, the message you have drafted twice, the lift you could offer, the 20, the 10 minutes on the phone. Do it now. You will not remember doing it by Friday. That is not a reason against. That is the proof. One quiet minute is usually all a kindness needs. It is the deciding that takes years. When Ray left that porch, Dale gave him something. When the depot closed, Dale had taken one cup home, cream-colored, heavy, chipped on one side of the rim. He had kept it in the cupboard for 30 years and had never once been able to say why. He knew why now. Ray drove home with it on the passenger seat, the way you carry a full cup, even though it was empty. Two men, one counter, 120, both of them right by their own arithmetic. Only one of them ever got to put it down. So put yours down tonight. Send it. Say it. Hand it over before you are ready.
And then forget it the way Walter did. There will be another minute like this one tomorrow.
I will keep it here for you.